Hello, everyone. Sargon here. Thank you for joining me for another episode of City Skylines. And we are back here in the city of Bytown. This is where we left off last episode in our little suburban campus. I guess, next to the campus that we're continuing to build, and we'll build that out in the future. And it's looking pretty good. But as you saw from the thumbnail, not all is well. So I'm going to get out of this view, come into this view, and you can see the skyscraper in the back left there. It is abandoned, and it is abandoned pretty bad. Now, this is a challenge with ploppables or playing in this regard. That's a level 5 building, and the land value in this area just doesn't support it. So if we come up to our neighborhood view here, come in, and we will look. And yeah, it's not that good. It's slowly creeping up, but it needs to be better. Otherwise, it's not going to be able to sustain this building, and as well, it'd be advantageous for us to continue to increase the land values because that brings in more revenue. And as you can see, we're losing a bit here. But I'm not too worried about that. As you can see, we do have plenty of cash on hand. So how are we going to deal with this? So if we come in and have a look, even up here, you kind of see demands, healthcare, which probably not going to deal with this episode. There's a police department, so I'm unsure why they're not happy. Public transport, that's something we could do. High school, there's still enough capacity at the last high school we built. But there is no elementary school here in this neighborhood. We do have some post service that is happening. Low entertainment, and so we don't need to worry about disaster. But there are things that we can do here. So for us to focus on this today, we're going to have to continue to expand out this neighborhood. So let's come in and let's start that right now. So come over here. We're going to use the picker mod, and actually, we're gonna take this road here, and we will extend this along. Let's make sure we take collision off, and we will move that along here to change this road type, and then we'll come back in, put collision back on, and this will be a bit of a challenge. We are going to need to, I think we lost a road. We are going to need to make sure okay, we're at ground. Is trying to find an angle that somewhat mimics this as we come out. So perhaps, okay, let's try this. I did play test this, but it was a little hard. So if we come out far enough, there we go. That does pretty good. And of course we sunk down. Of course. I thought we were good. It turns out we weren't. So we do need to do a few things. Let's extend this road just a bit. Make sure it is straight. Come back. We'll pick up this road. And we'll fix this. Don't worry. We'll come in from this angle here. Curve road tool, grab the road guideline. That is good. Now we'll fix this. Let's fix this now. We'll use move it to do that. Come in. Let's just pick nodes. And we will come in and we will bring that back to the site here. In fact, that's still a little low. As you can see, so we do have a terrain adjustment here. So let's come back in with move it. And we will just use the page up. There we go. That is nice. That is working well. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is come in, pick this suburban road here. I'm going to come into our UI. Into the network multi-tool, we'll come in with parallel, and we will come along this collector, say at about here for now. Tab to put it on the other side. And we will need to come out, I would say 62, I think is what will work. And the reason why that will work well, if we come back into our roads, come into our zoning, remove the zoning right along the collector. So we're not going to put any homes or businesses right along this collector. And come back along this side. And we will put zoning along this road. We will now use, once again, our curve road tool. So let's come in off of this road here. Find our guideline. Perfect. Same thing over here. We're going to come on up here. Grab our guideline. Connect that up nice and straight. We will now just run. We'll now just run some straight roads coming right across. We'll leave a, you know what? No, let's come in here. Oop, don't want that to connect there. Let's remove the road from here. Now, we will extend this road in as well to come right down. So first off, we're going to come in and move this fence all the way over. Straighten that out a bit. Now we can come along. Let's turn off collision so we don't lose the fencing. There we go. So that will border right along there. We'll turn collision back on, although we don't need to truly worry about it at this point. And we're just going to run that straight down to connect down here. And we have a start. Now, we're definitely not done yet. So we will come in and let's run a road. I think about here should do. So yeah, we do want to leave the pathing network that we had before. But instead of now just running a whole bunch of parallel roads, let's add a little bit of interest along here as well. Come here. And we are going to leave some space for some other things that are going to come in here. Maybe we'll come back a little here. Now we'll just use our curve road tool, come in, grab the guideline. There we go. Now, I think the other thing we can do as well is let's make sure anarchy's off. And actually, let's make sure tree anarchy's off. We're going to run a cul-de-sac up here. And as well, we will run one down here. And let's do a little curve here. I think that will work kind of nice. There we go. So this is the start of things. Now, we have to get this up. So what are the ways we're going to do that? First off, I think this space, we've got a couple of options that we can do along here. You know, we could put some housing or try to put a little city park. But what I could see behind this commercial area is dog parks. Now, one of the things I really wish you could do in the game is when you're building the city parks or whatnot, you could truly designate a large park area, which we, and for different purposes, including dog parks, or just changing the size of these. But I could see this being a nice park area behind, as you can see here, behind this commercial area, you know, where you'd have a big, large dog run where everyone would go. So now, thankfully, just the way these assets do work, you know, it does kind of look like a unified asset. We will come in and fill in these spaces with similar trees to kind of make sure this feels very natural and not just a bunch of plopped down dog parks. But that will already start help to improve our land values. Now, the other thing is if we come in here and we're going to kill two birds with one stone. Our education, you know, elementary capacity is pretty good, but as with this area grows out, we're definitely going to lose elementary and capacity. And as well, the fact that all these homes are too far from elementary is making them extremely unhappy and not helping with the land values. So we're going to come in and we are going to create two little educational districts. So the first one, we're going to come in down here. We will place an elementary school here. And you can see everyone's very happy. We do need to add a park to this, and I love having playgrounds. Now we're actually not going to leave this one here, so let's give ourselves a little more space. So we're going to come in and move it. We'll just move you right along, and we'll take advantage of our pedestrian paths, at least on this side. So we have this campus connected two-way. And the reason why you're going to do that, and we're going to see that in just a moment. We'll run this right up. Turn on anarchy for a moment. And now we're going to move it. And we're going to rotate this. Now I think we'll leave that little path connecting there. But as you can see, this will satisfy, these pedestrian paths. And we won't have any regular car traffic coming in through here. But we're not done yet. So let's come in. And we will now run a park path behind. We'll overextend it just a bit, because we're going to come into our 1U. Oh, we got an asphalt. Let's see. What do these look like? We have that one or pavement. Which one? Okay, we'll do a pavement road there. And we will now just nudge this back to make that look a little seamless. And same thing here. We're just going to take this. Oops. And we are going to move that down just a tad so it connects there. So in theory, you got two little playground areas, which I'm happy with. Now the next thing we're going to come in is place a basketball court. Let's come in and we will grab our basketball court. We will place that here. Now we will come in and we're actually going to bob off all the trees. And we'll just place our own around the asset. And that way we can, well, if we actually did bob correctly, so come in bob, trees, hit this guy here, hide them all, and boom, we have a plain looking basketball court, but that's fine. We're happy with that. So we have a start of one elementary school area, with a community basketball court. And in fact, maybe what we could do is completely twist things up. Let's make sure we only have this one. That looks a lot better. Kind of pull that in nice and close. And we'll do some concreting here to kind of clean that up. But this is starting to look good. Looking really good. And we will take advantage of one other thing while we're here. We will connect that up there as well. We might as well make sure that it's a well-connected neighborhood. And a lot of parents and kids will likely just end up walking their kids to school here. So looking good. So the next one we're going to come up here is we'll add another elementary school area. So let's come into our education. And we do have an asset. We downloaded this Red Hawk Elementary School, which is pretty good. So we'll place that here. And they have a number of attachments, and we will add on this one here for a quote-unquote kindergarten, which really just increases the capacity. So that is looking good. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to use move it, and we will slide that over this way. And then we're going to come into our parking. The other asset did have some parking, and we're not going to do a lot because this is just need enough parking for basically the staff, and maybe there's parents who are going to drop off their kids. And I think we should probably give a little more breathing space. There we go. I think that looks better. And we can fill this in with some gravel, or perhaps we'll concrete this entire area. Now, of course, we do need to add some parks. And once again, we'll take advantage of the large playground, and as well, we'll take advantage of putting another basketball court in. So we've placed those assets down. I think as well, we will take the opportunity to switch and rotate this right around. And maybe, you know what? Maybe in this area, we're going to actually put 2 basketball courts. So we can come in, move this. Let's see how this works. So we have it selected and remove it. We can copy, place another one down. Makes the community really happy, which I think is a good thing. I think that's a good thing. We can kind of merge these assets somewhat together. And now we'll just rotate them just a little. And once again, we'll come in and we'll make this look like as part of this space over here. Now, as you can see, this place is not happy. So we will use the same trick we did last time. We'll come into our pedestrian roads, because we don't want traffic coming through here. And there we go. That is looking pretty good. Now, let's come in, and before we start zoning some space here, we'll come into our landscaping so we can get our just regular gravel path. And we will put on the freeform tool. And we can connect that right up there. And as well, we'll take advantage and we will run a path that will be behind these homes here. I think that will work pretty good too. And we'll take one more path opportunity. I will want to turn off row guidelines and grid. Get past these homes here, or what will be some future homes. And let's see if we can just extend this, curve that around so that we can get full houses. I think that's looked good. I think that's going to turn out pretty well. Once again, we'll come in and detail this up to make this look natural. You know, some homes here, but some trees and some other landscaping as well. Now the other path, actually other paths we'll want to do as while we're doing this is in some key spots. So if we come in, and I think what we'll do is we will just use our, this one should be lit. So we're gonna, actually all these will be lit. So we're gonna come in, we will put a path right here, and we'll look to add, just make sure straight paths where we've got some connection opportunities. And actually, even though that was straight when I was looking at it, it is not straight with how this road is operating. I think that looks a lot better. And we'll do the same thing. Where else does this make some sense? you know what? We might as well take advantage with all these intersections. We'll make sure that that is well connected. So looking good. So let's see how is our land value doing, because we've added a row of dog parks, 2 schools, as well as 2 parks. Well, it's not moving because, you know, our game isn't moving. Wow, look at that. Look how much our land value has increased and will continue to increase. So it is looking good, but we're not done yet with increasing our land values. I've recently become fond of putting in churches and cemeteries. So we're going to do that again here. So the easiest way we're going to do that is we'll come in here and we will look at our churches. And I like this New England church in this neighborhood. Haven't used this one before, I don't think. So I'm going to come in and we can put that here. But we don't just want to have that there by itself. So we will add, let's first add in some parking, and that will allow us to frame the neighborhood. So once again, might need to use move it. So I think that's what we're just going to end up doing. We'll use the larger parking lot on this side, and you'll see why in a moment. And we'll use a smaller one, and we will connect these two with a service road. Now we're going to come in and use move it to try to make the parking lot more parallel to the church itself, as opposed to how it came off the road. So I think that's, well, that's looking pretty bad actually. So let's do this one step at a time. We'll move this one. And actually I think that did it. That was what was making things look a little odd. So we can pull that back. That is still well connected. But you know, we're not done yet, because my cemetery builds, we do add cemeteries. So we do need to come into healthcare, and it is under death care that we have these realistic working cemeteries. And you'll see why I've added these parking lots is because it will allow me to connect these paths, or sorry, these up to the roads and make them active. So looking good, looking good. So we have a number of things that have been added to improve our land values. So now if we come into move it, we're going to select all 4 of these. This is the best way to do it. And come up and just reset the objects. Now we've done this before, but what happened before, oh wow, we'll fix that, is these quickly became unhappy. Now that's a level 5 building because that's what we've plopped. But so far we're seeing everyone is happy in here. The fact that we have all this entertainment, it'll be a big help. And there's other things we'll do in the future, including adding public transit and healthcare to the area. So that's good. So we'll keep an eye on that. But in the short term, let's see if we can fix this, because that looks a lot better. So let me just quickly add the water pipes, and we'll be right back. Before we get to our detailing, we will expand out and start the development here. So let's come into our districts, and we will just expand out this district here. There we go. That's in. Now we can come in with our zoning. So that means it'll carry the same theme around. But let's have a look. Let's make sure we are being a little more deliberate with our housing here. Now, before we finish some of our zoning here, I do actually want to come in and we are going to add in another park from the vanilla park kit. Let's see if we can find it here. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So this one is just a nice little park that will just be across from the school. And we will come into Bob because, you know, this just has just a few too many, they call beer garden bench. So let me just move things around here. So I'm going to click on the beer garden bench, and if we go all the way to 0, you can see that all disappear, but we want some. So I think 32% is a much better number. And if we zoom in, I think it looks a little more natural. Just the asset has just a few too many in there. So now that will allow us to come back in and we can just finish off doing our zoning. And, yeah, we might as well just zone all this area here and let that grow in. Now we'll leave this area here with no development. I think that looks a little better. So it's looking good. Now this area here, we probably should have come in just a tad further with the housing, or sorry, with this road. Let's do a bit of a curve. And I think we'll just move that just a tad. Looks a little better. Now I haven't done this before, but there is supposed to be a way. So if we add a node just before, you can see it's red. And then we come in now with the no controller. And I believe if we, no, it's not shift. It's not rotate. So let's revert all that. Ah, there it goes, stretch. So if we bring this up to 200%, actually let's do 150. We'll bring the slope back down to 0 where it belongs. And now we've got this little cul-de-sac looking area. And I think what we will now do is we'll come in to move it, and we're going to pull this road back. Yeah, let's redo this. Okay, we'll move it back because I do want to put a house back here. So now we come back into no controller. Once again, we'll add that back in. And we will expand this back out. 150 works pretty good. And we will come back and looks like this area we might have to do some ploppables, which is fine. So we will just mass zone this area here. We'll come back to this area. And same thing here. This is now looking pretty good. So if we use our picker tool, we can just grab one of these homes here. This one will do quite nice. Maybe if we just use move it. There we go. move it worked. And that should now grow in quite nicely. And we'll grab a couple more here. That's a little too big. Let's see if we can find one that is a better depth. Maybe over here. Let's grab this one as well. So that looks a lot better. We've got 3 little homes here at the end of this cul-de-sac. And we'll make this look a little better once we come back in with some detailing. And we'll look to probably fence all this area off to kind of provide a better separation from this cul-de-sac area versus the homes that are on the other roads. But it's looking good, looking good. So now let's just jump into a quick detailing time lapse. Our detailing done, but we definitely aren't done here. Let's actually make sure the game is rolling. There are a few other things that I actually want to do in this episode. So the first thing is we are going to come over here and we have this empty space. Now there are 2 things we're going to do. First off, we are actually going to take a path and we will run the path right behind. Now that's going to require us to come over here and we're going to use node controller. We'll square things off, but in reality that's not what we need to do. We're going to find this light green and we are going to shift that to straighten that out, and that way we can kind of make things look just a tad bit better. Now let's see, can we do, okay, the red is as best we can do there. And I think that is as good as it's going to get. Now we do have a tree in the middle, so let's just move that. Looks a little better. So now we've got these connected paths. But as I said, there's 2 things we want to do here, and apparently staring at the sky is one of them. No, what we want to do is going to come in to find it. and we are going to look for a farmhouse. In fact, this farmhouse. Now, why are we plopping a farmhouse just down in here? Well, I've seen this, and where I've grown up, there's a lot of farmers' fields, but as the suburbs expanded, those farmer fields became subdivisions. However, usually, if it's in good repair, the original farmhouse would end up staying. So let's put this farmhouse here, and we're going to come in with our surface painter, and we are going to take a little bit of gravel. We'll come in here, and let's make that a little smaller, a little less strong. Let's make that a lot smaller. You know, gonna have a nice little parking pad area. But let's get that little cleaned up there. It's not bad, but it's best we can do with this. So that's gonna be a bit where a parking pad could be. And then we're gonna come in and we're gonna use our tile. So once again, we're gonna jump back into Find It. And we'll use basically my favorite tile right now. And we will place that there. And in fact, what we could do is come back out here. And we can make a little patio area for these folks. I think that would look good too. In fact, let's expand it, make a nice big patio. Let's ensure that the stonework is a little better lined up. There we go. So looking good, looking good. Now we will come in and we'll use my favorite fencing of all time. And that is our nature reserve fence. So we'll run that along back here. Run it right along here. And so basically just up to the point where we have the dog parks is going to be this farmer's property here. Do a little bit of decorating here. So we'll definitely put in my favorite tree, which is a nice big oak. We'll put in a little bit of vegetation. There we go. And I think what we'll also do is, you know, he'll get these folks here will get the grade A treatment. And we will also come in with, let's make this a little smaller, our Pacific rhododendron. I don't know. I'm not a horticulturist, so but we want to get 3 in here. There we go. Looking good. Looking good. Now, I think as well, what we can do too is let's give them a little bit more privacy here between that and the back parking lot area. You want these junipers, but let's once again come in and we're going to make these nice and tight. So at the very least, the backyard, which is what I would want, is nice and private. If we can get a better angle there. I want to do a few more things here. Let's zoom out. We're going to come all the way over here to this corner. And we're going to do a few things. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to come in. And we are going to look for a gas station. So we have this Esso gas station that does not want to come down and be plunked for some reason. So we'll place it there. We can now move that and rotate it. And we can we will put it on the corner, I think. That makes the most sense. And that's looking pretty good. Traffic can get in and out. Let's do a few more things. Let's add a nice little area of interest coming off of here. And one of the things that we have is an asset that will just come into our Tropical Rico. We have this little farmer's market. And I think before we plop it down, I think probably gonna have to come in here to our zoning settings. And that will do nicely. So we'll come back into our Tropical Rico. Let's get rid of this tree. Doesn't belong there. We'll put in 2 for now. And we will run parking. So we'll come back into our roads and come in here. On the one side, let's see what we can fit. We definitely want to have coming off of here. Let's put snapping back on. Road there, and I think we'll just end up doing the same. We'll run this one up. We're gonna have to do a little adjustment because obviously that's in the wrong position. And we can put these 2 little stalls together. We can back it off the road though. Let's give these a little room to breathe. A lot better. And now that we have those there, we can come in and we can connect these 2. There we go. That is looking good. Let's just make sure that these are straight. Looks good. Now, I do think what would be nice before we finish this little area up is we're going to come into our parks. Come in here, and we are going to find our small playground. And what I like here, and this will allow us to do some more detailing around here by using the trees that are in here. You know, I could see a little farmer's market come in here. Little kiddies could play there if they wish. Of course, we got the gas station. Oh, speaking of the gas station, this one has a car wash. So let's make sure we can make this car wash work. So we'll come back to our roads. We'll use our 2A 1U. Now, which way would this... Sorry, I'm on the wrong one. We want 1U roads. Can we see if there's an in and an out? Well, I think we would assume they would come in this way and they would head out. So we'll make this a one-way, no parking. And we will run that behind here. In fact, to make it somewhat easy on us, we're gonna have to do a few things. Let's extend this a little further again. Once again, we'll grab this road here. Wow, that's a spicy turn, but we can fix that. This is all fixable. So we're gonna come in and we're gonna move this so it's right up against. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Well, this has got a funky little thing, so maybe let's see what a 2U would look like. Maybe this will make this area just a tad better. And that's going the wrong way. There we go. I think that looks good. Now, I don't want these... You know what? No. No. Besides, I do have a tree in here. Let's get rid of some of these trees. Looks like I had tree anarchy on. Yep, I do. Where are you going, my dude? So let's get... We definitely don't want lights. And I want if people... I don't want people to come out. So we're going to go back, at least on this side. We're going to go just a 1U. One with no parking. Thank you very much. And we were going to come into our traffic manager. And we only want these folks to turn right. And now we're going to come in and we're going to get rid of that. They can yield if need be. And now, in fact, we can probably come in and get rid of some traffic lights. There's not a need given the amount of volume. That's collector on collector. We'll leave it. Get rid of that. And I think same thing here for now. We can get rid of this. Have that flowing just a tad better. So looking good. Mostly good. We have a few issues we're going to have to work on. It looks like we've got a garbage collection issues piled up here. So it looks like we're going to have to extend some more services out this way. There's some worker demands, but that's fine. Those will resolve themselves as more and more people move into this neighborhood. But it's looking good. So if you recall, we started off this episode over here, looking in at a derelict building. You know, a lot of empty space, and this neighborhood wasn't here as well. So we've been able to come in and add a significant amount of value. Look at that. So we've solved this problem. This area is quite popular area to live in, and it's because of the dog park. But like I say, some small issues, we can deal with that as we move on, some garbage issues. But for the most part, this is good. So we have plans to further expand this area, as well as continue working on our campus. But this is looking really good to me. Might have to look at our parking situation. Maybe there's something we can do to improve that, or even walkability. In fact, let's do that. Before we go, let's look at connecting back ways into this commercial area. Let's come into our landscaping. And I think for now, this could be a nice little nature reserve path. Let's find that one. Then come in here. Connect one path back this way. And somehow we had Treearchy pop back on. So let's get rid of some of these trees that are in the way. Move some. There we go. So that's one path entrance in. And we have this one over here. So we're doing good. That's a little better. And these dog parks must be humming. That's why everyone is parked out here. So that is it, I think, for today's episode. I'm going to leave it here. Leave you with a little bit of a cinematic outro. But I'd very much like to thank you for watching. And until next time, bye for now.